everybody, welcome back to Studio Lou. So I'm going to bring you my weekly kind of wrap-up video that I've been talking about in some other videos that I've been making. I've been talking about doing this for ages and didn't know what format I wanted to use. I used to kind of do these vlog videos, but I think I just kind of want to do this like a weekly, here's what I'm working on. So I'm just going to do a weekly wrap-up of the stuff that I'm doing and what I finished. So I'll start with finished objects, finished things. So this week I just have to sew in this last end that I forgot to sew in. I'm also thinking about adding a few more rows just because I'm extra like to this cuff. I'm not sure, but I finished these little thrummed mittens for my daughter. She has already worn them a couple of times. And I basically didn't really use a pattern. I just kind of knit the mittens and added thrums to them. I just kind of kept, I did like enough ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, until I felt like it was a good amount to come up to like her wrist to about say here, because toddlers tend to like lose their mittens constantly. That's why I also added this I-cord string. And then I knit some time ago, there's a pattern on Ravelry you can find. It's just called Baby Mitts, and it's by like a really famous designer, and I can't remember right now who it is, but anyways, yeah, so that I just used to make my son a pair of baby mitts. So I just kind of upsized it to like fit a toddler. So essentially you just go into stockinette stitch, and until you get maybe like an inch or so above the cuff, and then you're going to get your stitches off for your thumb and set them aside, and then keep going. And then I just measured my daughter's hand, and then I just did a bind off, a Kitchener stitch bind off. And so in case you're not familiar with what thrummed mittens are, here's what they look like on the inside. So this is just my own hand dyed wool roving, and what you basically do is you take a length of wool roving and you kind of make like a figure 8 with it, and when you're knitting you're going to knit it with the yarn that you're knitting and basically make it like a stitch, and then next time you're going to knit them together on the next row. So yeah, the inside is this really warm, fuzzy, nice texture, and it's best to use a wool that can felt to do this, because it will just get more felty and cozy and warm as time goes on. The yarn that I used for this is actually my own hand-dyed yarn. When I was doing a lot of dyeing, this was my worsted base, and so yeah, I just finished those babies up and I'm pretty happy with them. They're still in my little knitting pouch here. I have to put a new project in there. So that's that. The next thing I finished, and I'm going to do a walkthrough video of this journal later today, is The Land of Sugar and Spice. I got it all finished. I managed to get all the ephemera done yesterday. It's a chunky book, but it actually is really comfortable to use and to write in, and it lays like really nicely. The whole book is very easy to, write in and sit down with, and like it doesn't feel overstuffed really at all. So I will do it's not overstuffed. I didn't go super crazy on it. I just wanted to include a lot of pages for writing and interesting stuff. So I will do a full walkthrough of this journal later on today. What I'm planning to start doing with these wrap-up videos is they will happen like maybe early in the day, and then later throughout the day I will add things into my Etsy shop. I'm Studio Lou on Etsy, obviously. So yeah, that's the plan. And then I managed to finish this yarn. This is all my hand spun art yarn that I'll show you going forward here. This yarn is delicious. Like, I can't even begin. Like, look at this yarn. It's just scrumptious. Like, these locks, I don't know if you can tell, but like they are silky. They are so curly and baby soft. They are an incredible Teeswater lamb, and like they're so silky. I can't even begin to tell you how soft and yummy they are. Then this is all hand dyed wool. All of this I dyed myself. So we've got like a merino silk blend that has this really rich tonal kind of ombre in like greens and purples that blend with each other. Like it was a gray base when I dyed it, and like it just made this rich, incredible tone. Like hopefully you can see this right here, how it's like iridescent. It reminds me of like the feathers on a mallard duck, kind of how like they're iridescent like that. And then this is some nice blended wools. It's like a purpley tone, and then this has stellina in it. It's sparkly pinky purple. So like this yarn is, as you can see, blue and pink and purple, and has some cream and green, and like it's a really fun yarn. And then I finished this chunky boy. So this big yarn, you can see like next to my fingers how chonky it gets. It gets very, very chonky. So it's a nice big chunky yarn from a durable fleece. It is auto wrapped, and it has been core spun and then like diagonally plied to be nice and chunky and bumpy. And it is, let me just open it up here. It's a very bulky yarn. So it would be excellent for weaving with, I mean, or knitting or crocheting or whatever you want to do. You could do like embellishments with it. I really think I'd love to see it woven. I think it would just be gorgeous woven. Just because like bulky yarns like this, these super bulkies, they just really make weaving incredible. So they're really incredible woven up. Let me just reskein this baby. So what else am I doing here? Hold on. Okay, so another thing that I've been working on for quite a while, I've just been kind of hoarding them, and I'm going to try to finish up a group of them for next week's shop update maybe, is I am core spinning yarn in all different weights on these little LED light fairy strings. So here you see what the yarn looks like close up. So this one is like silk and wool and metallic Angelina in shades of like greenish gold and green and bluey green, chartreuse. And then, so it lights up with this little battery pack. It has 2 batteries in it. So there you go. This one has white lights in it. These are 5-meter strands. I'm going to be doing both multicolored and white lights this time around. I've done these as well as wire core yarns for quite some time. They don't stick around very long in the shop when I do them. So I'm going to have another little bunch coming probably next week. And then the other finishes that I've done are for the week 8 of Annbrookes 52 Tags Handmade Challenge. I will post her information video below on this challenge. This is basically a year-long challenge. Once a week, she does a video to give us the prompts. They're always stitching related, and it's to create a tag using different stitches. So week 8 was about pistol stitch, bullion stitch, and French knots. So these are all like little pistol stitches, and these are all bullion stitches, essentially. Like it's a long bunched stitch, and then the pistol stitch is this long, sort of long one with the knot on the end, and then the little French knots are just the knots themselves, which I've done mostly in the pink down here. So those are the French knots. These are the pistol stitches, these long ones, and then these are the bullion. So I used like a really fun retro fabric from a vintage dress that I've been just kind of cutting up, that it was actually like a really cute pair of like skirts, like a one-piece jumper with skirts, but it didn't fit. I don't think it would fit anyone. It was so tiny. It used to fit me when I was a teenager, but it doesn't anymore, sadly. So yeah, it is like a 70s fun fabric. And then I also finished week 9, even though we just got it yesterday. I've been on a roll. So this one was all about using up scraps, bits and bobs. So that's what I did. I used a lot of my fun kind of scraps. So I backed the whole tag with my own indigo dyed linen. And it is from a vat of indigo that I did a couple of years ago. I still have scraps from it. I made like a series of indigo journals, a couple of journals. And for one of them, I used that fabric as the cover, and it turned out really beautifully. Then I used, this is a Japanese fabric with this beautiful gold ticking on it. And then this is just a floral, like ombre colored. This is an ochre colored, not ombre, sorry, ochre colored silk that I dyed with saffron. And then this is just a gold, like a fun glittery fabric from a thrifting trip that I did, where I found a whole bunch of glittery little tiny scraps like this, and I just picked them up for fun. And then we have some like sparkly, more actually fabric for making dance costumes. It's like blue and silver, and it has leaves and flowers, and I stitched around one of the flowers. My stitching on this is very random, and it's on purpose that way. I also used some birch bark pieces that I found on the like in the woods on the ground. I didn't pull them off a tree. I know about sustainability. And then these are starched crochet pieces from these big starched snowflakes that I have, and I use their little bits and pieces everywhere. And then I just did some little like V-shaped stitches here and little French knots, and then I stitched across these little crochet bits and did some X's, cross stitches. And yeah, I just kind of like kept it very random and let the scraps kind of stand out, because I thought they were pretty fun, like nice scraps. So all done, happy with the result. I'm excited. I'm really liking this challenge a lot. I think I look forward to Friday to get started on the next one. It's like a lot of fun. And then I'll show you what I'm stitching. We'll flip over to floss tube mode now. So a couple things. So this is my like ongoing, like need something to do, stitching something in my lap kind of project. I'm just kind of doing like a round rainbow of kind of randomness, just like stitching different like floral kind of motifs on this gray fabric, which I actually recycled from my old couch. So we used to have an IKEA couch, and it was evil. It was the worst couch I have ever owned. The bones of that couch were horrible, and you would feel them rub against your bones. I don't know how else to explain that. Like, you could feel every bar in this couch over, like, when you first got it, it was cushy, but no, it was no longer cushy by the time we got rid of it, like 2 or 3 years later. Oh my goodness, it was awful. So anyways, I did love the fabric. That was the reason that I bought the couch to begin with, because I love this gray fabric, and I love gray and rainbows. Like, that is just one of my favorite things. So yeah, I've been stitching away on it. It's nice to stitch on. It is, because of the way it's woven, it's very similar to an Aida cloth, but I don't really need it to be, because I'm not cross stitching, I'm just free-forming. So I've just been kind of doing, you know, little bits of French knots, and this is some pistol stitches. I was doing these kind of stitches before my whole Annbrookes stuff, but you know, it's fun to do. And then I've got, like, what else have I got? There's some bullions. They're cute little bullions. And I don't know, a lot of these, there's some more bullions. A lot of these stitches don't really necessarily even have names. These are all bullions that I'm aware of. I'm just kind of doing them as I go along. I'm just kind of making things up as I go along, and using some basics, like, you know, these French knots and whatnot. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun stitching away on that. I haven't worked on it like this week, because I've been working on this. So Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, I have been working on their, from like 2017, I've been working on their sample, like their stitch along kind of sampler, not sampler, but stitch along. And then I just decided, like, I wanted a new project a little bit ago. Like, so I started this, I think, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago. And this is half of it. I won't show you the whole pattern. You can check them out at the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. But it's Halloween Town. So I decided to get started on it, and I've gotten this little bit done. I did this during my a lot of it during my little work trip that I had to take. So little jack-o'-lanterns and a skull and a key and an owl and half of the word Halloween. And then this is starting to become, there's going to be a little girl here and these little mushrooms in the grass. There's going to be like a little bakery building there. And so yeah, I'm loving it. And this Aida cloth, I actually... You know, I was looking online at dyed Aida cloths, and I can't believe the price of them. Like, I'm in shock about the price of these Aida cloths. Like, I don't know. It seems crazy to me. It's a piece of cotton Aida cloth, and it's been dyed. So I was like, okay, that's bizarre. So I just threw this one in my dye pot with some mauve gray, because that's the color I wanted, like a purpley gray. And I just kind of did a little bit of speckling of like pink and stuff on it too, because I wanted these little fade out bits. It's nice to have little bits of variations. I don't know if you can see them, like the variation in this light. It doesn't look like you can from the preview I'm looking at, but there is some variation in the color to this. It is purpley gray with little bits of pink and whatnot. So that is what I've been stitching. What else? Oh, so yeah, I have another journal project that I'm working on that is going to be a secret, and then I have to actually choose one to work on here with you guys. Hold on. I think that's everything that I'm working on right now. Believe it or not, I went today to the dollar store to pick up some organizational tubs. So like these kind of things, like I got some more of them because I like keeping all my materials for one of my journals in these tubs. This stuff is, you may remember I did a series of journals on Rainbow Bright. So I still have an altered book that I'm still working on in the background. You probably saw me working on it a little bit when I was working on those Rainbow Bright journals, but like it is so much work. I can't believe how much work it is. So I'm just working on it in my own time in the background. And so yeah, that's going to eventually pop up in my shop. And I think that's it for the weekly wrap up. I have also decided I'm going to start a stitch wheel, kind of stitch along. So if you look up the hashtag stitch wheel on Instagram, you will see Kathy Reevy. She also has a YouTube channel, has created like a really nice free pattern. It's like a series of concentric circles. I have it printed out down here somewhere. Well, not somewhere, it's way over there. I don't want to run off camera. And you basically like create all of these concentric circles, and then you break them into sections around in like a wheel, like cogs of a wheel kind of, and then you're going to do different stitches. I had seen the hashtag on Instagram, but hadn't looked into it all that much. But then I was watching Felicia from Mouse Potato Designs, and she's going to start doing it because she's like getting really into embroidery and has a lot of vigor for it, and she's a very inspiring kind of person. So I decided like, hey, I'll do that. I'll do it along with you, you know. So I think I will do that too. I'll be aiming to get maybe like a couple of stitches a week done on it. So if you check out, I'll link below everybody I'm talking about, so that you can take a look. And if you want to do that along with me, let me know either in a YouTube comment or on Instagram. I will be using the hashtag stitch wheel on Instagram just to kind of join that group of people that are participating. So yeah, that is my weekly roundup of what's happening and what's coming to my shop this hopefully this weekend if I get it done. The yarns will go in the shop, the journal will go in the shop. And so for now, I hope you're having some sunshine like I am. We went out this morning for a little bit. I had to go to the dollar store and I had to just get some sunshine. We tried to do a bit of walking in our typical areas, but we have a lot of mud and muck and snow and ice and water going on. So I think I will stick to the sidewalk in the neighborhood for now. It's a little bit less mucky. Anyhow, have a great weekend, and I will be back soon, and you will probably see the walkthrough of that sugar and spice journal coming very soon. And thanks for joining me. All of my social media information is below in the description box. I'm Studio Lou on pretty much all social media, but I would love it if you subscribed and hung out here with me, and we can do some projects together. So thanks so much. Bye for now.